Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another Epic 7 video. First off, I apologize for the background. I took down my green screen because it is moving day today and I'm kind of in a midterm room. So you get this creepy little thing in the background staring at you. Anyways, we got an update. I was gonna move today, wasn't planning on making a video, but this happened. There's no way I cannot cover this. This is how you do an update. So many good things. Such hope for the future for this game. And if I ever had any sort of doubt, or if you ever had any sort of doubt about the state of this game, or what it would be like going forward, I really think a patch like this can just squelch all of those concerns. So let's talk about this here. First off, in this major update, a new special type of lab called the Asthma Catalyst Lab, as well as a new challenge, Archdemon's Fortress, as well as balancing, and a recall system. I can't even believe that. So let's talk about the Royal Capital of Asthma Catalyst, which is a raid type labyrinth. We're actually getting what seems to be MMO style raids in this game. Like, obviously they're not going to have MMO style encounters, but it very much reads like a dungeon in an MMO where you have varying different ways, just like a labyrinth does, but instead have like super endgame bosses at the end of it, which is just unbelievable. And they have a bunch of designs for all the characters, and these are great for story too, if they ever want to tell story of some of the more dangerous monsters or something like that. They even have lore, which is kind of surprising. Like, they don't need to put lore in for like random enemies, but I'm pretty excited about this. Like, look at Secretary Vera here. I'm trying to look at her. There we go. Look at Secretary Vera. Does that look like a secretary for you? Vera spends most of her time burrowed deep underground alone. Vera oversees the internal affairs and finance of the royal government. She also has a grand vision and big plans for the royal government, including a plan to invade those dwelling above ground. Like, really? I don't know, that's just freaking amazing to me. Anyways, players must defeat all of the bosses in the royal capital of Asthma Catalyst in order to reward unique items for each boss. Once killed, the monsters will take a week to regenerate, kind of like an MMO. Thus, players will only have the opportunity each week to hunt raid bosses. The reward for this labyrinth will include equipments with new set effects, which we'll read about in a second, items exclusive to the raid monsters, and galaxy bookmarks, the number one thing y'all have been wanting. Honestly, the number one thing I want to give me all those galaxy bookmarks. The raid boss's description, regen conditions, and item drop tables will be compiled into a boss journal. So very cool. This is, like, I didn't expect it. There's certain things I expected in this game. A lot of those we'll touch on as we go down. This is not one of them. This is not something I expected, especially this early in the game, and I'm really happy for it. I hope they're a challenge. I hope they're hard enough that I don't miss a reset, but hard enough that it takes me like all week to get these done. So I'm really excited for this. And it also just says this new raid type expected to be the most challenging PvE content in Epic 7. So I really hope this is fun and awesome, and you don't just have to cheese it one way or another, and I don't know what I'm trying to say. I really hope it's accessible but not accessible, if that makes sense. And I really hope we need to make units around it. Like, I really hope there are certain units that we build because they give us like plus 30 in the camp or something ridiculous like that. Like, the more different areas in a game like this where there are specialized units, the more fun we have with different units, because otherwise we end up going in with the same units in each spot, and that kind of makes it less fun. We also have 3 equipment sets here. Unity, they don't tell you how many pieces these are, which kind of frustrates me. We have Unity, which increases dual attack chance, and dual attack is amazing in this game. Really fun, really random style of ability that I do like a lot, as long as it doesn't get too out of hand. They have immunity set, also known as Will, which gives you an immunity to self for 1 turn at the start of each battle. Just as a side note, if this is 2-piece set like it is in Summoner's War, you're going to see this on basically everybody on PvP, and this is going to be an indirect big nerf to anybody that has a huge AoE debuff at the start. Somebody like Judge Keese is hit really hard by this, and somebody with like AoE defense break or AoE attack bar reduction anybody like that is going to be hit really hard by these, because you can expect in a couple months down the line, you're going to have every arena team you face at the higher levels is going to have full immunity on their team. And then they have Rage Set, and how dare they put a Rage Set in this game and have it do something different. So this is increases damage dealt if the target has a debuff. I wish they said how much damage so we can kind of theorize, but I guess we'll see. Overall, I'm not too sure on this set. I mean, I imagine my first thought is I want to use that on like my AoE caster or something like that that has a bunch of debuffs, but that actually doesn't make as much sense to me as like a single target DPS that goes after the debuffs. Somebody like Lorena, this makes sense for me for. And we're also getting a 4 and 5-star character stat increase. There is only a minimal difference in stats for characters with different grades. A lot of people might disagree with these, but it's only 3 and 6%, so I'm okay with that. I'm all for making 3 stars viable, but I also want to make my 5 stars feel special. And we have skill rebalancing. This one is huge. They're changing the amount of Molagoras it takes and refunding. This is the part I can't believe. People always ask me why I'm investing in Tierra because she's going to get nerfed, why I'm investing in Elson because she's going to get nerfed. And the way I see it is if you don't invest in those characters, you lose so much potential and you never know if they're actually going to get buffed or nerfed. So the way I see it, it was always worth investing in it, and this was thinking that we weren't going to get anything back, but it turns out we are. They're actually going to compensate players via the mailbox for any Molagora already used to enhance hero skills excess of the new cost. That is insane. I can't believe they're doing that. And this actually makes me want to go Molagora everybody now and then have them refunded after the patch. We also have combat and character balance adjustments, and this is basically nerfing everybody we knew were going to get nerfed here. Characters facing a downgrade include Tierra, Elson, Ricorus, Church of Ilrios Axe, and the artifact Sasha Yathana. So not Lorena, good thing to notice there, but it is hitting the Axe God. So they're decreasing defense buff by 15%, but they do need to make sure here that they also say the lasting effect from increased defense will still have its presence to fight this downgrade, as it still remains one of the best powerful lasting effects in the game. That's another thing I want to get through to people. People think if somebody is going to get nerfed, they're going to be completely useless and not usable. It doesn't usually go like that. Sometimes it does, but in general, it's just going to be a slight nerf to them and they're still going to be better. Like, people are sitting here trying to replace Tierra, Elson, Ricorus, and honestly, they're so good, they're probably still going to be the best after this, just as a heads up. What else here? The ones facing improvements is Dingo. Dingo felt like I really needed it. I have Dingo on one of my alts, and he just performs so subpar. Dingo, Kali, Yufine, Bale, and Senzan. And I'm not sure if Bale and Senzan needed a buff. I've played with him again on my alts, and he felt really great, but I'm not sure. Obviously, they think it did. They do need to mention here, after the downgrade of the character Ravi, we have been extremely cautious in our approach to character adjustments. However, after an extensive and comprehensive review, it was decided that certain downgrades were necessary. There were some characters with all-in-one skill sets and those with too much utility that nullified other characters' potential and opportunity. So people always ask me why I think buffs are okay in gacha games, and it's because it keeps it fresh. Super duper fresh, and it's super worth it to me, especially if they're going to compensate us at the end like this. You're never gonna get your orbs compensated back, or your what is it called in this? Sky shards back, sorry, but you will get whatever you invested in that character back. We understand that players who have enjoyed playing characters that are facing downgrade adjustments may be disappointed and even devastated. However, E7 is not only dedicated to preventing the indiscreet character improvements, but also establishing a balance between different characters. Therefore, we believe we are taking E7 in a positive direction, and we sincerely ask for support, patience, and understanding from our players and fans. It's so cool how they approach this. I really enjoy their attitude towards this, and I really enjoy their stance. I was really worried at the start of the game because the Korean player base just flipped their actual lids about nerfing, and it just seemed odd to me because I'm somebody who's always hoping for nerfs and buffs and balances and stuff like that because they're the most fun parts of games like this to me. every couple months you get like a big balance patch and your entire roster chains around. Everything is great. So that really scared me because I thought they were doing something wrong, but it seems maybe that player base overreacted or something, or maybe they didn't get compensated, or maybe it was unexpected. I'm not sure the story there, but let's just say the way they're handling it now is 100% perfect. They're also introducing a recall system, which you're able to do after a certain amount of time a character is nerfed. This means once you've used this function on a character, the gold, the XP, the promotion ingredients, awakening materials, Molagora, and catalysts are returned. I can't even believe that. That's insane. I can't believe they're actually doing that. That is just such a huge thing. You'll also be able to use recall on heroes that were nerfed before. Oh, really? Ravi, Curious, and the old ones that were nerfed. That's really cool too. I'm glad. That's like a throwback to the people who used Ravi before that don't like her anymore. Although I do think she's still fantastic. Really, really, really cool. And honestly, I might recall my Curious at this point. I don't use her too much. And next week's update, I really like how they're giving us... God, she's the actual cutest, by the way. Her color set and everything is the actual cutest. In addition to the changes mentioned above, we will also be adding Archdemon's Forces Challenge, the climax of the side story eulogy for the Sane, new artifacts, new Moonlight characters like this little cute gal there, new specialty changes, as well as a variety of system improvements and bug fixes. In the next dev notes, we will cover a detailed review of Guild Wars, hype on that, as well as improved side stories for other core content. So this was insane. This was just proving to be over and above all my expectations for this game. Such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful update. And that said, I have something very big to think about. For those of you who don't know, I have about, I would say, 60 Moonlight Scrolls to summon soon. Actually 60. Literally 60 Moonlight Scrolls to summon in the next week or two is my guess. Probably week, depending on how taxing this moving is. I would say in the next 3 to 5 days I should have these ready. 60 Moonlight Scrolls. My original aim was to get Judge Keith's an account just to play with her because I love her to death. I love her character, I love her design, I love her abilities, but she got nerfed pretty hard this patch. Obviously they didn't mention her name once, but the will runes basically just neuter her third ability, and that's kind of what carries her. That said, I do still love her to death. And I do still want her, but have you seen that wink? So I have a really tough question to think to myself right now, and that is if I want to wait or if I want to try to get Rel of Light or Judge Keys or Spectre Tenebrian now. That said, I have about 60 scrolls, which at 2.5%, like I'm statistically going to get one, right? At least one. 60 scrolls, so I'm pretty excited. Anyways, I've been talking and ranting for so long, not even ranting, just pure raving right now about this. Please read this over yourself too. I know I basically just read it over for you, but hopefully I had some thoughts here and there that made you enjoy it more. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Bear with me through this move right now. I know I haven't been streaming lately. My internet's not been doing well, and I'm moving to a new place, and I will have internet soonish. So thank you so much. Bye, everybody, and I'll see you guys later.